so if there was any questions on that report. I did something a little different this time. I showed the prior month's balances, ending cash balances. So you can see comparison. In the general fund, there was the Lee County ad valorem taxes came in for the month of December. That would the property taxes are due on the 10th of the first half, and many taxpayers pay the entire amount. The first half is due. So that was about 371,000 came into it, and that's not any debt service. It's all related to our operations in the general fund. We're working in the finance department. We're working on the audit for fiscal year. Working on that. I believe I mentioned in the last meeting that I had, after we were done with the municipal day, I stopped in Albuquerque and talked to the auditor. Spent about an hour and a half with him and understanding what within public accounting, many firms use a particular piece of software to help develop their financial statements. And after talking to the city manager, we had decided a couple of months ago to go ahead and purchase that accounting software too. It's a trial balance program, and it gives you the opportunity to take the ending balances, it's in the Tyler system, and then bring them forward, and you have to make conversions from cash basis to full accrual, modified accrual, and then full accrual for the financial statements for the audit. We're still continuing to work in the utility billing, trying to fix some of those areas there. I know that we're a little behind on issuing refund checks to some of the customers that have closed their accounts. And the issue with that particular item is that it deals with software issues, being able to print a check correctly. And the assistant finance director, he's been working closely with the software house to try to get that resolved. And, we're also within the finance department with Mr. Miranda's approval. We're looking at buying software for time and billing. I mean, not time and billing, for record keeping of the employees' time attendance, rather than, we've had some issues with them trying to just enter it in right before payroll is due. We wanted to be able to have them on a daily basis, at least, be able to keep track of their time, all the employees. They would log in. And for example, here in City Hall, when you come to work, you have to punch in your code. It takes a picture of you, make sure it's you. And then when you leave for the day or you go to lunch, what have you, basically same procedure but to check out. We have to verify. Well, you know, you have to be real cautious with time, because time can get away from you, and the employees could take advantage and be asking to be reimbursed for their salaries and not really attending, working when they're supposed to be. This piece of software is also going to allow, if they're out of town, there'll be a GPS monitoring where they're at when they log in. And for some reason, let's say they're in Santa Fe on a conference or in Albuquerque or something, they'll be able to log in and put in their time and stuff. So I think it'll be a good addition to the record keeping of them for the employees' time. And I believe at this point, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay. Commissioner, anyone?
Okay.
I don't hear any. Thank you, Ed. We appreciate the report. All right. City Manager.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, the GRT number for December 2025 was $1,186,919.36, compared to $1.04 million for the same period last year. So it was up about $140,000. The city will purchase 4 new snowplows to be less reliant on the county for plowing main and secondary streets during and after future snowstorms. The repairs to First Street between Avenues A and B in front of Rancho Grande should begin in the next few weeks. And just a reminder of some dates coming up, most of them you know. Tuesday, March 3rd at 5:30 will be our town hall at the Troy Harris Center regarding the city ordinance. Our Facebook survey has generated enormous interest with about 1,000 people voting. The Albertsons official grand opening to the public will be Friday, March 6th. The Wendy's opening is projected to be sometime around June. We hope to announce a ribbon cutting date for the Lovington Baby Box within the next several weeks. And finally, we hope to set a ribbon cutting ceremony date for the Veterans Memorial in mid-spring. The chicken ordinance?
You said it.
Oh, the chicken ordinance at Troy Harris, I'm sorry. And that, in addition to what I provided in your city manager report over the weekend, I'd stand for any questions.
Okay. Questions?
I had one. I was looking through the little work log. Did Mr. Muñoz's crosswalk that he had brought up, has that one been done?
We have not done any of the proposed traffic control measures. That includes the 3-way stop at Second and Birch. We have 3 petitions for speed strips or speed bumps. One is on Birch and Second, either that or the stop signs. The other is Jackson, where it could be 8th or maybe even 5th. Then I got a call from a citizen at the corner of Madison and 9th Street last week, and he asked if we could put one there. So, like, they are temporary, but I'm looking for the commission's guidance if we wanted to proceed on a trial basis with some of them in certain locations. We have 2 ready to go. So, and they can come back out if you decide we don't want them, but they have to be patched up, the holes. So we have 2 ready to go.
I think that might be a good place for one for him, at the Jackson and.
Jackson and 8th,
Maybe not 8th, maybe
the
5th.
one closer to, in front of New Hope.
I think so.
Okay.
6th and 7th,
Is this,
because they're at New Hope, 6th is right. To the-
it's the crosswalk to the, on the east side of New Hope. We'll get on it.
Yeah.
Just to slow him down.
That's at 6th.
It just has crosswalk signs, it doesn't have
It does have,
school zone,
yeah, it has the green one with the kids crossing.
yeah.
It'll be done.
Thank you.
I would say just pick another one.
Commissioner Rodriguez, did you want to go with the 3-way stop, or did you want to go with the speed strip?
I think we can try that speed strip first and see what kind of feedback we get on that.
These 2 aren't as severe as the one on 8th and Jefferson Bay Arbor. They're lower, so they get you down to about 15 or 20. Because that one you really get down to 5. I drove by it today, it works.
If it gets people to slow down, I think we'll.
Oh, yeah. So that should put an end to the racing, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Never know. Any other questions? Mr. Martin, I have one request that we can address over the next whatever, but I get a lot of information that the attendants here can't hear a lot of what is said. So can you get with our IT and let's see if we can put something together that will help project here?
Yes, sir. We're working on augmenting the system where not only can you be heard better to the audience, but also the speaker at the podium, because that projects to the commission.
Right.
And it has to be tied in with the online, so,
Absolutely.
yes, sir, we are working on that.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
sounds good. Thank you.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate that. Ms. Ball?
Mayor and Commissioners, good evening. I have First Street connecting the dead end to the Albertsons parking lot. That is to be paid by Friday. And they're also going to pave the parking lot piece over here that they cut out against Avenue A on our parking lot just to the north of the building here.
Oh.
They'll be doing that paving also, and that's for Mayors and Sons. It's doing both of those projects. The street lights were actually going up on Avenue A today, and that is one of the main streets projects that's going on with Avenue A, the new sidewalks and street lighting there. So the lights were going up today, I seen that, so that project's gonna be wrapping up pretty quickly. And then we have, of course, the Albertsons grand opening on March 6th, which is next Friday. Sooner than we think, it's here. And then currently working on the micro seal grant for roads, for my LG RF grant with NMDOT. The roads that me and the street department have went over that could do that micro seal would be West Monroe from 2nd to Main, North Polk, or North First from Polk to Jackson, West Adams from Main to 5th, West Adams from 5th to 9th, North 4th Street from Jefferson to Adams, South 1st Street from Avenue D to H, West Avenue F from 7th to 9th, West Avenue F from 9th to 11th, South 5th from Central to Avenue A, West Harrison from 9th to 6th, West Tyler from 9th to 6th, and West Van Buren from 9th to 11th. That's gonna get us the limit of about how much they'll usually give on those grants. If anybody wants a list, just let me know, I'll give you that list. But that'll be coming to you for a resolution next month. That's all I had. Unless you
Questions?
guys had anything? Oh, me and Leslie did the NMDOT Tribal Local Public Agency Certification class with NMDOT. We both passed our exams. So that's if there's any NMDOT or federal grant monies, you have to have a certified person within your agency to be able to have those grants.
Okay.
That's all.
Questions? Okay. Thank you, Ms. Ball, appreciate it. Counselor, good evening, how are you?
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I don't have anything new to talk about at the meeting. I have some comments on 2 or 3 of the agenda items. I'd be happy to stand for questions if you have any.
Okay. Questions? I hear none. All right.
Mr. Mayor, the issue has been fixed with the audio online.
Oh, online, okay, good. All right, thank you. I'm gonna take just a moment. First of all, Mr. Johnson, I saw you walk, there you are. Would you approach the podium, please?
Got a little spot, don't you?
Absolutely. No, it's simply, the majority of the people in here, I'm sure, were in attendance at the Chamber of Commerce banquet, but I just would like to recognize Mr. Chuck Johnson as the Citizen of the Year for 2025, and just want to congratulate you. And first of all, he's not only a friend, but he's also a leader in our community, and I just want everyone here to know that we're proud of you, and we appreciate all of the things that you're involved in and all the work that you do.
Well, thank you very much. That was quite a surprise.
I'm sure. All right. Mr. Long, you join me up here. Good, sir. How are you? We're so glad you're here. First of all, I just want to, if you don't know him, this is Casey Long. Long time, or I guess, I don't know, forever resident of Lovington. I've been here. Anyway, Mr. Long has been very ambitious in helping our community. First of all, first time that I've seen you out and about over the past few months was at Bob's. And I called my my partners who own that facility, and I said, hey, the new guy is doing a fabulous job, and they said, who's the new guy?
Right.
Anyway, so I know that when they were down here the last time, they actually got to meet you or whatever. But, anyway, we appreciate the efforts that you are doing voluntarily, on his own, and.
Work for the Lord, amen.
Amen, yes, sir. That's awesome.
Yes.
That he is helping us clean up our community. And first of all, you do it visibly, and we appreciate it, and hopefully your zeal for this will be catching, and everybody will follow in suit. But anyway, I'm going to offer you the time to say something. I know you have a story if you want to share it. If not, I just want you to know that we appreciate it. We've talked about this for several months, and we just wanted to bring you up here and say, basically, that we recognize what you're doing. This basically says, from the City of Lovington to Casey Long by Mayor Robbie Roberts and the Lovington City Commission, in appreciation of your hard work and selfless dedication in helping to make Lovington beautiful. Excuse me. And we just appreciate it. Like I said, if you've got anything you want to say, if you not, we just
Oh
want
yeah, I
to.
got a lot to say.
Okay.
But it's not about me, it's about all of y'all. And I want you to know something. The reason what I do is because of y'all. The reason why I'm who I am. See, I didn't know what I was gonna say. I even told the chief of police, I didn't know what I was gonna say today. But when the holy anointing spirit of God is in all of us, he already knows what to say. So I want you to know something. The ones that knew, that arrested me in the past, and y'all know who y'all are, the ones that, when I overdosed on drugs many times, sorry, I wasn't gonna try to cry, but it's okay. I'm alive because of y'all. When y'all came in the house, whenever I overdosed and I was making a bad decision, I lived that crazy life for over 20 years, but now I'm crazy for Jesus now by living that crazy life. You gotta live that crazy life first to live a crazy life for Jesus. But Officer Clark, I have to put you on blast, man. I'm alive because of you. When you come up in that house, I was almost dead many times, man. A couple of times, you resuscitated me. Your officers, and paramedics, y'all intervened in my life, and now I'm alive because of y'all. And I do what I do because of y'all. So I want y'all to know that you are God's hands and feet. All of y'all are encouragers. I love how you just prayed before the meeting and y'all put God first. But I want you to know God sees everything. And God works through all of us. God appointed all of us for his positions in life. And I want you to know that he's all proud of you. Y'all are God's hands and feet. Y'all are chosen, y'all are called, y'all are daughters and sons of the Most High. And I guarantee you, any of y'all that knew who I used to be, y'all know for a fact I used to not talk like this. But you know what? Y'all believed in me, y'all prayed for me, y'all lifted me, encouraged me. See, the devil wants to shun one another, but God wants us to be there for one another. The devil wants us to hate one another, but God wants us to love one another. Whenever we are, trying to put God first in everything's going to fall into place. But when we do it our way, it's never going to work. But I want you to know the devil always throws our shame and our guilt and our sins in our face. No matter if we lived a crazy life. I lived in prison and jail and overdoses and all that. That's my story. That's my testimony. But we all been through something in our life to come to Christ, to live for him. And for you to be the mayor of this town, God appointed you to be the mayor of this town. God appointed you to be the city manager. God appointed you to be the chief of police, and everybody was appointed because God put you in that position because y'all are the peacemakers of this town. But I want you to know something. The devil always throws our shame and our guilt and our sins on our face. But I want you to know something. All that shame and that guilt and those sins, that's why Jesus went on the cross and took away our shame, took away our guilt, took away our sins. And what the devil meant for bad, God always turns it for good. And if we didn't have our shame and our guilt and our sins, God would have never sent his only son, Jesus, Whoever believes in him would never perish but have everlasting life. God didn't send his son to judge the world. God sent his son to save the world through him. So it says we have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives within us. And I know we live in the flesh. We put our faith in the Son of God who loves us and who gave his life for us. So we live in his grace. We live in God's grace today. But we had to have our shame and our guilt and our sins first, right? But like I said, what the devil meant for bad, Mayor, God turned it for good. And now we live in God's grace and his mercy and his love and his blood. So no matter what anybody says, y'all are chosen. Y'all are called. God loves you. I know y'all are lifting me up, but I want to lift y'all up. I am who I am because of y'all believed in me. Y'all prayed for me. Y'all lifted me up. And who I am, y'all all have a heart of gold, but y'all also have a heart of God. So you're all chosen. We're all chosen and called to make a difference in this world. Because the only one that's better, we're all equal in Christ. No one's better than the other. The only one that's better lives in us as we live in him. So y'all, you know why y'all are connected and this town's running? Because y'all are putting God first. You're putting God first. And when you are connected with Christ, Christ is going to be connected with you. So I want you to know I'm proud of you. I want you to know that I love you from my heart. I want you to know I am who I am, and I help others struggling with addiction because you did save my life. So y'all are making a difference in this town. I mean, I didn't even know what to say, but you know what? God always knows what to say, amen? But I want you to know I love and care about you, so y'all continue to bless others, and y'all continue to shine God's light. Y'all don't got to talk, y'all live it by action for what y'all do for this community. So don't ever think that y'all ain't making a difference. Y'all lift me up and give me the plaque, but the plaque is all in y'all, that's Jesus, amen? Yes. Thank you. Amen. Look at me. Love you, brother.
Okay, this brings us to our public comment time. However, there was one person that signed up, and I asked her, we're going to actually move her position into, it relates to the first non-action item, or discussion item, and that is a discussion of the safety concerns and maintenance obligations for the Harold Reynolds softball fields, and Ms. Pruitt is here.
Good evening, children. Okay,
Announce your name.
Kathy Truitt.
All right.
I did go to the school board meeting on the 9th, as I was instructed to. They did make a motion to pass that we can proceed with the parking lot and do so. I did get quotes from Ramirez and Sons, and they did state that there's an MOB, that Ramirez is on the MOB. I didn't get a copy of it, so I'm hoping y'all have so y'all tried. I've sent 2 emails and stuff and haven't got it either, so. But here's your copy of the 2 bids I got. I'll go over it real quick.
All right.
There's a bid for $300,000 for do the whole parking lot, because there's a piece there that's already paved and it's marked with the yellow, like where don't park there, but that don't mean the rats. People park there. So to do everything but that part is $300,000. Now to do the whole parking lot, redo that part with the piece, take it up and everything, will be $381,000. Visited with some people yesterday. If we can get some donations, they said we could possibly make it out to Lovington Youth Sports so they can get a deduction on taxes if we can get some donations or grants or whatever.
Okay.
I know the school board, they said they didn't have any money when I was there. So that's why I came back to this meeting to see what kind of we can do on whatever grants or county money or whatever money that we can try to do.
All right. Well,
But there's quotes, and like I said, Ramirez and Sons did that quote for me too, so. Is there any other questions?
Any questions?
Questions for Ms. Kathy?
Not at this, okay, not at this time.
Okay.
And we will see what we can do to help this situation.
Okay, well, like I say, I'm gonna start trying to get some donations too,
That
and
would
see
be
what I
great.
can do, if we can get some more money pulled in for them, so.
I did go by and look at it, and I fully
Okay.
understand the
You
situation.
understand it now?
Yes.
Like I say, that the way people park in there, if you get there early for the first game, you're blocked, because people park in front of you, they'll park behind you, they'll park
4D.
four deep, they'll park where you're not supposed to park, because people are trying to get in, they'll park into that part, and kids are running in and out right there too, and it's dangerous sometimes. So, got any questions? Give me a call. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank y'all very much.
Ms. Taylor, you wanna?
Yes. So Edith Taylor, so the yellow part that she's talking about, we put that in 2 years ago because we had a person get hit by a fly ball or a ball, yeah, not a fly ball. What do you call it?
Foul?
Foul ball.
Okay.
That was by the concession stand, and it was an older lady. And she was fine, but had we needed an ambulance, there was no place to get in. So we put that in there so that, but again, if you don't have people out there, you can't. And so that's why we kind of put that area. So mine is, and I called today to try to get it on the next school board, but we are looking at trying to put some scoreboards out there. I already have some businesses that are willing to do that. I have a bid, so I'm gonna go before the school board on hopefully the March 9th meeting and get their okay to do that, and then come before you guys with that. I do have a quote. What I'm asking is that we get electricity to where the boards are. We don't have to run conduit from, because I've already kind of talked to the electrician that's out there, so there's no electricity from where the dugouts are to where the scoreboards are, because either the conduit's been cut or it's not hooked into our outlets anymore, or the Gophers have gotten it. So all I need is really an extension to plug in a board, kind of like what we did with the Yarborough and Jefferson gym. Is they just have to have a plug-in and a switch that we can turn on and off, and then it's wireless. And it's worked great for us at the Yarborough and Jefferson. And so we've done that with our youth sports and community health and getting scoreboards for those two gyms. So we're looking at doing softball and then going to baseball. And so that's kind of what we're looking at as far as scoreboards, putting 4 out there so that we can see scores and times. Questions?
Question? Nothing? Do you want to go ahead and, we can add your estimate, quote, whatever you want to call it,
Yes,
and kind of combine this?
yes, we can do that.
I'm going to pass it to the city manager, so you just.
This is one quote, but it's $14,420 for each one.
Okay.
And the reason I like this company, they are the ones that put in our Jefferson and Yarborough. They come out and they install it. And they fix it and make sure everything is working, that you know how to work it. And then if anything happens, they come back. And then that way we're not having to have people waiting to put it in. They schedule a time, they come put it in, and then they've been great. Like, we haven't had any issues. We started Yarborough and Jefferson gym at the end of our basketball season, and we haven't had any problems with it whatsoever. And the schools put in the electricity to get those boards back up. So that's all we're asking the city to do.
And you're looking at the 4 fields,
Yes.
1 in each field?
Yes, I already have 2 probably ready to go that we can get, and then I'm working on the other 2. Any questions?
Questions? No, but thank you, appreciate it. And we have our illustrious representation from the schools. Just want to offer up I was not in attendance since we coincide now, but I'm assuming the schools have no problem with any improvements that would look there? Do we need to run it? What's your position on it? And you don't have to get elaborate at this point, but.
Good evening, Pam Quinones, Superintendent at Lovington Schools. Ms. Schrick came to us and asked if we would authorize, I guess, the parking lot. And it is an improvement to our land, so that now it's in your court, pretty much. Yeah, so we don't have a problem. And Ms. Taylor and her group, amazing group of getting things out for our youth, which is what we want, right? And they've come through and done all the protocols and procedures that they need to they add lighting, and what else, Edith? I don't know what else she hasn't done.
We've done a volleyball for Jefferson,
Yes.
volleyball nets.
Yeah, so they've done some great things, but for the Love Street property, Ms. Tripp did what she was supposed to do, and so we're good.
Okay.
That's it.
Sounds
And I do want to make one quick comment about the speed bumps. I appreciate our city manager, Miranda, and Police Chief Clark. You know, people drive crazy down Jefferson Street, and I would vote to have 10 speed bumps down that street. But the one that goes around the corner heading north on 6th, I believe, has been awesome. And I know that there's been talks too to see if we can move it a little bit, because when you're going north, it's awesome, it slows you down, but when you're at the stop sign, you have to rev your engine up to get over the hill. But I just appreciate the fast response to safety in our school zone, so I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Moves us to our second discussion item for the Squire subdivision. Ms. Ball.
This is actually, Mayor and Commissioners, this is actually going to be the owners that have this request to be annexed into the city. Here? Okay, yep, there he is.
There he is.
Go ahead, introduce yourself and have at it.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, thank you for letting us come up here tonight. We have some really good news.
Okay.
Not quite as good news as he's got right there, but we got some good news. We're bringing some homes to Lovington. My name is Daniel John Cox. I represent Young's Homes in Hobbs, New Mexico. I'm here with the owner, Mr. Levi Whitley. And we've been working on a project up here in Lovington for many years. And we had this project approved 3 years ago. And it got derailed by some bureaucracy at the state of New Mexico, Office of the State Engineer. And so we went back to the drawing board, and you know, the buzzword all over the United States is affordable housing, and we have affordable housing. We just got a 238 lot subdivision in Hobbs, New Mexico approved that we've been working on for years over there as well. But this property right here is in the northwest of Lovington. It touches the city of Lovington city limits, and we can bring you 20 homes, or we can bring you 41 homes. We're going to bring homes one way or the other. But there is an opportunity for the city to annex this property and allow us to build a county spec subdivision. If they let us be annexed and allow us to build a county spec subdivision, and I gave you guys a little pamphlet, and on the front page of that pamphlet, it kind of, the city county spec subdivision is water well, septic tank, chip seal roads, and overhead electrical. Okay, that's what we do. We've been doing land development for manufactured homes since the 70s. We've done a lot up here in Lovington. We've done a tremendous in Hobbs. We've even done a lot in Gaines County. But we got an opportunity to bring 41 homes up here, and it's really up to y'all. You know, an annexation of this property literally would be an imaginary line for all practical purposes. And then we would be able to bring 41 homes up here. It would be over a $10 million housing project that we've again had approved with the city. We had it approved with the planning and zoning, with the county, but it got derailed by the Office of the State Engineer. And I want to thank Crystal so much for being involved in the conversation that we had with them recently, where we went over all these details, and they're getting this done in other places around the state of New Mexico through other means. but we're not gonna be able to get that done here in Lee County because we're gonna follow the rules, okay? But we've got plenty of water out there. This property is not in a critical management area. We spent $30,000 on a water availability study. That water availability study proved up we hit water at 60 feet below the surface, and we have 150 feet of saturated thickness. And this subdivision, if we do water wells on that subdivision, over the 40-year period, this water study shows that we would affect the water table by 0.8 feet over the 40 years of the subdivision. So, I've got these little packets of information for you guys, and if you guys have any questions for me, I know this is a discussion item, but really it's up to you. We're bringing the subdivision one way or the other. We would love to do 41 lots. I think the city of Lovington could use 41 affordable homes. And so I stand for any questions.
Okay. Questions, Commissioner?
At this point, I have none.
Okay. I'm gonna ask one, and this, I had a meeting with our county representative over the past 10 days, I think. Anyway, and we talked about this. Since we did this in 2022, the county kind of revamped the ETZ, the extraterritorial zone. Have you talked to, I mean, no, I guess it's the,
John Portolano, the planner?
well, no, have you been to the new ETZ? Because it used to be there was a Lovington part, there was a county part, now it's kind of all in one. Have you been to them since that time?
No.
Okay, I haven't either. So, have you?
I don't even know when they have meetings anymore. I
Well,
haven't heard of any. I don't get that
I
information
agree.
either.
I don't either. I agree with you. Okay, so let me run this to them, and then we'll maybe find out when they meet. I have no idea, and then have them look it over. I talked like I said, I talked to Miss Kimbrough over it, and she suggested that we need to approach them because they will be the ones that are the authority over that jurisdiction.
Okay. I think it's a great opportunity, again, to bring 41 homes. We're on the same team. We've been here since 1958. We got dealer license #1 in the whole state of Mexico. We do the right thing. We're not here to strike and leave town. So take a look at it, you know, and let me know. And I don't know what our next procedure would be, but maybe to go talk to the ETZ. We did get this all approved through the ETZ and the P&Z and the ZF.
Exactly.
This, that, and the other. And it is absolutely, you know, 30 years ago, this didn't happen. You just went and developed land and you drilled a well and you put the house out there and it's gotten really complicated. And this is the reason why affordable homes and affordability is an issue.
And there is no affordability yet.
Yeah, and the bureaucracy of it all. But anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate it. My name is Daniel John Cox. I'm a Young Homes. You know where to find me. If you have any questions, give me a holler. Okay?
We appreciate that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Then to our next discussion item. Potential no right turn sign at southbound side of South Main and Brian Urlacher. Commissioner White.
Okay. Did Ms. Ball, you get to talk to DOT on this any?
No, I did not. I was not able to get a hold of any of them on this.
Okay.
But to do a sign there, we would have to have their approval.
Okay. And we also need to remedy McAllister before we do this. So they have a place to go once we start it.
Yeah, McAllister
So,
in dire.
We were
yes.
set to repave that, but then the First Street issue came up kind of quickly. They're both over 100,000, so the municipal tax fund won't support both
Both of
projects.
them?
Okay.
But McAllister's definitely on our top 3 to be done immediately because it's heavily used.
So to prepare you for your talk with the DOT, can we throw some options at you that we all kind of? So instead of it being so triangle, can we go to more of a 90 on that corner? You know, if they don't want us to put a no right turn, that's an option. Can we move the solo law firm sign or do something with the bottom part that blocks such a view? Is it possible for Maverick to, not necessarily a lit sign, but another sign out closer to the road on their other entrance to call attention there so people know that's there? What else? Do you want to say your
Well,
the right turn?
yeah, I was visited with Ms. Ball earlier today and explained, you know, the ideas that I had. I mean, the obvious best solution is really hard to get to, and that's cutting out the corner and making a larger radius turn off of Main onto Bryan Urlacher and a light. But that seems that would be almost out of reach at this point. The other suggestion or thought that I had was maybe restricting the right-hand lane of the two southbound lanes to a turn-only lane beginning somewhere north of Baja Grill. If you're in that lane, you have to turn. It can be done where that lane has to turn. The left lane is the through lane. That might also take some of the confusion and the difficulty away from the actual intersection of Main and Urlacher. If you're trying to make a left turn off of Urlacher onto Main Street at the wrong time of day, it's very difficult to get out, regardless of what you're driving, whether it's a car or a truck, whatever. It's just a clumsy intersection. It just is clumsy from the very beginning. And I agree with Commissioner White, something needs to happen there. Because
Can we go straight across?
it's very frustrating for drivers, and we all know what happens when people get frustrated and and do silly things. Chief Clark, do you have any, and I apologize for blindsiding you on this, I should have asked it another time. Do you have any stats on accidents, citations, just legal problems with traffic at that intersection?
We don't have a lot of crashes at that intersection, but we do have, the crashes we do have, they always say they didn't see them coming. And I know there was a traffic study done, but that was prior to Maverick and prior to Tractor Supply. So maybe that'd be a good bet, to get another traffic study done with the influx of new traffic coming in. It's definitely a difficult intersection. If you could do right turn only on McAllister, and then no right turn, to me, it would solve, it would solve a lot of things.
Well, and we still don't want to, in an effort to minimize one problem, create another by causing people to say, oh man, I missed my turn, and go down and circle through the Maverick parking lot. That would not be good. And I could see that happening there, so.
Most of our wrecks that happen there are people that are trying to cross Main Street. It's not the turning, it's just people trying to cross.
Right.
Right,
it's a difficult intersection.
We had one there just like over Friday, Saturday night, we had one there.
Well, that's why a traffic signal would be ideal, but, we can't do anything without state's approval.
Right.
I know to do a traffic study, since one was done prior to Maverick, they're not gonna want to do one again. It would be, that cost would be on us to provide
Like 35,
that study.
40,000.
Well, maybe that's something that we should consider bucking up on.
Okay.
But can you check what our right of way is on that
There's not much right of way, that's why that turn is so sharp right there.
Okay.
Because the property line pretty much goes to just a few feet from the curb.
Okay.
I can get the measurements and get
And
that
then what
exact.
is our, I know when you have a fence that comes out towards the road, it can only be so high.
So on an intersecting road, they have that 30-foot side clearance. And it's not supposed to be over 3 foot tall in that 30-foot
And
side
that's
clearance.
more.
I know that fence was built before my time, but I can go and check it, and I can make them
It's not,
change that if it's in that. 30 foot's not much of a side clearance corner.
and it's not so much of the fence, it's their, you know, the bottom of their sign is stucco, and it's, I think it's like this tall.
Yeah, and we don't have an ordinance against that when it's up on their property. We don't have an ordinance against that.
Why don't they do it just,
I can ask them that,
To
if they
see,
would
yeah.
do anything with that, because it's a site environment, and talk to them about that.
Well, it's not gonna be cheap, it's not gonna be easy to fix it.
No, it's not an easy fix, but
Well, and
We
we have
can
to get
start
the
trying to
state
work on
involved, so
things.
you bet it's not gonna be quick
no.
either.
No, it will.
So you hit all of them.
can you let us know what they say, like next meeting or two, and we'll just kinda go from there?
Okay.
Cause they might just say no to everything.
Very true.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, our next discussion item, grant update, Ms. Bolt.
Evening, Mayor and Commissioners.
Good evening.
Bolt with the grants for the city. So, should have all received a package in your commissioner, reports on the grants, and I'm just gonna kind of go through them. Currently, our active projects are sitting at approximately 12 plus. We have grant applications outstanding and submitted this year of 3.2, and I have good news about quite a few of them. The ADA sidewalk Second Street project, this is a project of sidewalks between Central and Avenue D. It's funded by a CDBG, Community Development Block Grant. This morning, we had a public bid opening and received 2 bids. And I'm gonna need some direction from the commission. We have funding left for construction of $625,280. We asked them, we knew it was gonna come in higher, based on the certified architect engineering cost, and it did. So we did the bid where it was a base bid and then 2 added alternatives. So the base bid is the northern block from Central, this is Second Street, and the southern block by the Dollar General. That came in at bid 625,754. So we're gonna see if that was constructors, and we'll see if they can match our project fund. Then the added alternative, the first added alternative is the next most northern block, which will be Michael's Prescription Corner in the church across the street. That came in at 266,351. The next added alternative is the next block over, and that's 181,198. So we're about 450,000 short on this project. So what I need from the commission is some direction if we want to go for the base bid that we had asked for. Is there any alternatives? What do you guys want to do? We can award the base bid at this time, and then it would be at the next commission meeting, once Pettigrew tabulates the findings, and then leave the added alternatives for future funding, perhaps, or...
And it's much easier to ask for funding when you've already got a project, and you can call it like a phase 2 or something like that. So I would say base bid.
And then CDBG, do you know if they're gonna open up additional funding for existing projects? Because they do that. So if you have one on board that you're in process of working on, a lot of times you can ask for that money from that grant.
We have tried that, and no, they do not have additional funding at this time. We'll
They're
go
even
back and
shutting
ask
it
for
down
that.
for a little while because they have to regroup because they had such a turnover.
Mhm.
So it's null and void for a while.
Yeah, so, we can do that, I can go and look, but would you like to award just the base bid at this time? And then perhaps pursue the project with the, 2 middle blocks into the future?
I would say put it together, put a resolution together and, in some form, whether, to award the base bid, and then start there, because, we're gonna have to have it before us anyway.
And the cost is just going up, so use it while you have it and it
Yeah.
pays for something.
So we got the bids today, we'll have to get the, tabulation and evaluation approved from CDBG and then bring it back with their resolution to
Right.
that. So we'll do it just the same as the base bid and then the 2 alternatives. And then at that time, we'll have that resolution for you guys to approve. And we send it back up and say, they approved it, now here's where we're at.
Right.
Okay. So that's CDBG on Second Street. Crystal updated you on the Avenue A, which is a phase project. That was phase 1. That has 3 phases. So we'll start looking for funding down the road for the other side of the block, and then Central Avenue, West Central. Okay. Animal shelter. We have a combination of funding for that. We have the reauthorized capital funding, the Lee County Commissioner's discretionary funding twice, and then we also still have $85,000 Board of Emergency Vet Medicine. The vet medicine is going for some specific items as far as fencing and so on outside that. It has not been cleared yet, but they did add an extra year onto that, so we're not as in the time crunch as we were. So we're still waiting for approval. Great news on the senior center, and I believe I was looking at the legislation that came out, and it looks like there was also another $180,000 approved from general obligation funds. We got $284,430 for senior center. We also got word that we were approved for $369,750 federal funding through HUD. I believe Mr. Miranda has more information on Congresswoman Ledger Fernandez and her plans to come to the city. That is the same as an EPA, so we'll actually have to apply to HUD. That'll take a while, but we're looking at with the combination and some other funding that we will have close to $750,000 to $1 million for the senior center to make it more for congregation, sitting area, some computers, and all kinds of plans. So we'll get a team together to just kind of get some preliminary design and some ideas on that. But the first phase will be the outdoor section. Okay. Chaparral Park revitalization, the funding has not been expended yet. We are still waiting on the electricity, which C&M Electric has updated you on that. And then the last step of that project will be adding more picnic tables and benches to the 2 structures. So that's where on that. We're in good shape on that project. Code enforcement, the RAID grant, which is recycling and illegal dumping, we have ordered 2 trailers for them. We will add signage once I get direction from the city manager and Chief Clark. And so basically they'll be used for a program throughout the city to clean it up, try to get some areas cleaned up and expand some recycling as far as the cardboard, white paper. So we're looking forward to finishing that project in the next couple months. Steve Moorhead told you about the baby box project. I did put in that, and I know we probably don't want to wait that long, but we're looking for a ribbon cutting. April is National Safe Haven Awareness Month. So that's a very big deal for them and for us. IT and security, that project has not been clear to move forward. Main Street is keep the lights on, 450, there's gonna be 450,000, waiting on plans. Any questions so far?
You're doing fabulous.
Thank you. Keep Lovington beautiful. Mr. Perez will be adding pet way stations all over town. We received 30 to 40 pet way stations with this grant, so it's gonna be pet way stations and pet way stations and pet way stations. There's also waste receptacles that we use this funding for. We still have money for the stipend youth groups for cleanup efforts, so if any youth groups want to call me, I still have $5,000 ready for their group to do a service project, either out at Chaparral Park, one of the local parks, one of our public areas, and we will stipend them. So it's just a way for them to get money for their organization, and then teaching the value of our environment and green space. So that does run out this spring, so if you know anybody, baseball teams, softball teams, soccer, church groups that are interested in that, just let me know.
Are there any restrictions as far as the youth?
14 to 24 is what we're looking at for the group, and then they don't all have to be a part of the group. If they want to bring their friends that are 14 to 24, we have a sign up for documentation, and it needs to be a youth group, and we will write the check for that group. So.
You let your audience leave. I mean, I know it's not your fault.
I have emailed them quite regularly.
Oh,
so.
at least you're, okay,
We're
sorry.
okay. Remember that, let me know.
I did, I wrote that down.
Library improvements, I think that's on the agenda this evening. Police department awning, we are 90% complete on
I'd
that
say
project.
99.9% complete.
99.9, and then we will do the closeout paperwork, and we will submit for the final on that and close that project. Veterans Memorial, we have gotten phase 2 estimate. We are waiting approval for the rest of the grant funds that the estimate is acceptable to them. We are looking at, we are gonna come in under budget on that, barely, but we will come in under budget. So very exciting on that, and that's phase 2 with the additional strip in the front, and then the parking and some upgrades and signage and stuff. So very excited about that. Emergency generator should be here. That's for the
Booster station.
Booster Station 1. That'll be in the next couple of weeks. It's sitting in Houston right now, and we haven't heard word since then, but we're hoping next couple of weeks that project will be done. So we will have redundancy in our emergency generator for any kind of storm or something that comes down. Wastewater lift install, this is for North Love, but I did get word this morning that we had a balance of 115, and I pointed out that the grant agreement did say for wastewater improvements. So they gave me an okay via email that we can use that extra 115 left over for anything related to wastewater, and I think we're going to be working on 3rd and 5th Street lift stations next.
Jefferson and 9th?
Jefferson and
Jefferson and 9th lift station. gives us
Jefferson
a-
and 9th, okay. I don't know if I have
Yeah.
Okay. Exciting news, we did get capital outlay for this. This is for Senate Bill 240, was passed. We're still waiting, it's not finalized, we don't have grant agreements yet. And of course, the governor has the right to veto in the next couple of weeks. So, but as in the public records as of today, we did receive our request for Water Trust Board and for capital outlay and for the solar dryer. So we have a total of $2,572,000 approximately, plus the $128,000 for the solar dryer. So not only did we get this project that we had outstanding right now to remodel the wastewater station, we have extra money. So we can start working on some other needs that they have. Very exciting.
And I'll point out that this is the first time the city has tried to get Water Trust Board funding, so, and the trip to Santa Fe paid off.
Awesome.
Good. And once we're in with the Water Trust Board, we're in with the Water Trust Board, fingers crossed. So it's very, very good meeting and very, very happy news. Which brings me that we will need to start working on the ICIP, which is your capital improvement plan. That will be coming up over the next couple months, and then there's a lot of reports and narratives that need to be written based on what you determine for 2028 through 2033, as far as what you want to see funding for and what we want to work on.
Ms. Bolt, something that I think may help change the way we operate, this commission seems to be ready and available to have special meetings. I would like to have a workshop on the ICIP, and just, let's do it, rather than drag it out in our normal, our regular session meetings, let's have a special one, and that way we can focus on it, and hopefully, instead of it just coming through and whatever, we get it done and get it presented, so.
I agree. There's a webinar on Wednesday. Now we're gonna have a webinar on some of the changes that are going on with the ICIP process. It's a little bit more of the mechanics of it, but they usually send out a PowerPoint afterwards based on that webinar to all the attendees. So when we do have a special meeting, I can pull out the highlights and that will be some ideas too. Okay. We're still waiting. The following grants at the very bottom of the page: hydro, the hydro evac truck, jetter, the hydro trailer, youth center improvements, and of course, I already mentioned the Animal Services Board of Emergency Vet Medicine have not been cleared yet. They've been approved, so we're waiting on, check your emails. You'll be getting some agreements come in to sign, and we will get those projects started as soon as we get the clearance on that. And then the last thing I put in is that we are finalizing, there was an SLFRF, which was a Biden initiative for recovering from COVID. I just got an invite to start the closeout for that, so that'll be a lengthy closeout, but the money's been spent and we'll just work on closing that out. Okay. Any questions?
Questions? A lot of information, a lot of good information.
And I'll just note that on the SLRF, the city had received 2.7?
I think it was 2.7.
2.7 over 2 years, and what the feds were saying is, if we can't prove that we spent it and how we spent it, they were gonna claw it back. And there was some very incomplete records from that era. So Leslie and Ed, thank God, were able to account for it, and I think we're okay.
Good.
Can you explain for the new ones, when you have just a small amount that you need to make a grant complete, like police department was $250, but the project's coming in at $275, where would you grab that $25 from?
So we have this. So the city has the number is 301, and it is a capital projects fund account that we get from our GRT that goes into that capital projects account, and we use that for if we want to continue and close these grants out and complete the work, we use that fund. Now, last fiscal year, when Ed was still as a consultant that hadn't come on full-time, I sent him a budget based on the grants and what the figures were coming in. So I actually created a budget for that fund to use to finalize some of these grant projects, get us them off our books, and have that funding hopefully in the next couple of years freed up to utilize how the city needs to utilize it.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Bowe, we appreciate it. All right, brings us to our next discussion item, of the status of the FRP bidding for the Lovington Library roof. Who is the point on this one?
I think we could actually just bypass that and go into the.
Okay, I
Nobody knows who's done.
I think
It's
we
the
could,
table
I
done.
think we could bypass it and just discuss
Go.
it on the action item.
yeah,
We don't
Okay.
need to talk about it twice.
I'm good with
If
that.
you guys are good with it.
Okay, all right. Okay, this brings us to our final item, which is gonna be public hearings on 2 ordinances. We will be opening a public hearing. If anyone in attendance would like to be heard, you have to come up. I'll have you announce your name, and then when we get to a time for comment, I'll ask you if you have something to say. So at this time, I guess we can go ahead and open the public hearing on ordinance 614. And anyone that has anything to say, please step forward. We will recognize you.
Mr. Mayor, besides advertising in newspapers, we did put this ordinance proposal on our city Facebook site on January 27th, and as of today, we've had no negative comments regarding it.
Okay, that's always good. All right. Ms. Shannon, are you, do you need to do anything on this?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right, I see no one stepping forward to have public comment. With that, I guess we can go ahead and finalize it and move forward. Counselor?
Well,
Oh. I'm sorry. Yes, okay. One, please announce your name and before we,
My name is Sarah McKendry,
yes.
and I just need to clarify exactly what the ordinance will be for the watering days. So can we water, everybody can water early morning and late evening?
No.
No.
You just need clarification.
Yes, sir, I need clarification because the post was not clear. We can only water on our designated days all day or only morning and evening. Not sure.
Okay.
Shall I read it, sir?
I think, yes, and then, hold on just a second, he's gonna read it, and then if there's something that, in specific, please, we'll ask you to, ask for clarification on that.
Okay, so first, the ordinance would take place or apply between May 1st of every year and end on October 1st of every calendar year. And during that time, watering or quote-unquote all spray irrigation, including by sprinkler or hose, is prohibited between the hours of 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. Watering by sprinkler or hose at times outside those hours of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. may occur odd number residences Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, even number residences Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. There will be no watering on Mondays. So nobody waters between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m., but everyone is able to water between 6 p.m. and 9 a.m. 3 days a week.
Can you tell me one more time?
Sure. Are you odd or even?
I'm an even, but our church, we water at church and we're odd numbered at church.
Okay. So for your church, you could water every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, starting at 6 p.m. at night,
Okay.
all throughout the night, hopefully not continuously. So
No,
6
it doesn't
a.m.
take that much water on me.
Yeah, and I'd be happy to give you a copy of the entire,
Thank you so much.
I'll give you a copy of the whole ordinance. We did put this on the post, but it is confusing, but it is fair for all. But I'll give you a copy of the
Okay,
ordinance.
so just, we can only water on our specific day
But not
from
day.
9 p.m. to 6 a.m.
6 p.m. to 9 a.m.
6 to 9 a.m., okay.
So
I'm sorry,
basically,
forgive
the
me.
times when the sun is not burning up the water. Although in summer, it stays light till 8 or 9. But
So we could water, for example, 7 a.m.
correct,
and after 6 p.m.
right. I
But
mean,
not at all during the day for our day,
or any day.
for any day.
Do you have timers on your sprinklers?
No, we just water close to the ground with a hose.
Oh, okay. You may want to invest in some timers and get some irrigation lines, and it's not that expensive. I have mine and I set it for 2 o'clock in the morning. You get the best benefit at that time.
So basically, all watering is gonna be overnight watering and nothing during the day,
Right.
regardless of what day of the week it is.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's what I need to know. Thank you very much.
But, I don't know. Yes, I'm sorry, Counselor, yes.
I think since we have these listed, both of these listed as public hearings, I think we need to do the normal procedure that Shannon does to open a public hearing.
Well, that's what yeah.
Have the public hearing and then close the public hearing on ordinance 614 and then go through the same process. It's identical to what we did. I think the last one we did was on the
Alcohol and
the
gaming.
alcohol
Right.
license. Pretty informal, but it's something we need to do.
All right. All right. Then Ms. Shannon will need to open it.
Okay, this opens the public hearing for ordinance number 614. An ordinance of the city of Lovington providing for the creation of chapter 13.05 under title 13 in the Lovington City Code to establish and enforce a water conservation and waste prevention ordinance. Has been duly advertised in the paper, on Facebook, and the website.
Okay.
Any comment, additional comment,
Well,
or comments?
I think we, all right, so we don't have anybody that has stepped forward to comment. So with that, we did have an informational request. And if there's no further discussion, I guess we go to close this public hearing on ordinance 614. And then we'll just reconvene and open a public hearing for ordinance 616.
Okay, public meeting, public hearing, we're open for ordinance 616, an ordinance to annex the cone addition assigning the classification as Zone B Industrial District. This has also been advertised in the newspaper, website, and Facebook. Are there any comments, or do we need, Ms. Ball, do you want to give a description more of what this ordinance is about?
That's annexation and the zone assigning to the cone addition, which is Avenue D and Industrial. It is where the current New Mexico pipe yard is.
Right.
So, do you guys have any other questions about the ordinance. It's been advertised for the appropriate amount of time, so we're just looking to adopt it in this meeting after the public hearing.
Okay, I'm gonna recognize one of the principals.
Chuck Johnson, partner in Caprock Tubular Service. The only comment I have is the GRTs that the city stands to make on it. Stand for any questions.
Okay. Anyone have questions? All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Okay, having no further comments, any discussion by the commission? If not, Ms. Shannon, I think we can close this public hearing on ordinance 616.
Okay. This hearing is closed.
All right, we can move on to our action items. The floor is, we'll stand for a motion on ordinance 614.
I'd like to make a motion for adoption of ordinance 614, water conservation and waste reduction.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and second for the adoption of ordinance 614. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Comment from the staff? Comment from the public? Hearing none? Oh,
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to reiterate to the commission that as May 1st approaches, we will send out the requirements of the ordinance in the bills to further educate the public as we get closer.
okay, thank you. Let them know that we will be monitoring. Ms. Garcia?
Hello, my name is Estela Garcia. On this 614 water conservation, okay, on our side of town, there's some of us that have a lot of property, a little bit over an acre. You know, do y'all have any suggestions? We're planting like 15 trees, and we're trying to do like a water. In the back, we've got like a retainer for water, and put a pump and try to do our trees that way. But you know, we don't have. There's pure caliche there, and just to plant a tree and then get it together, but you know, a trailer full of rocks. So it's hard to get a water sprinkler system in there. You put down a foot and that's it. So do y'all have any suggestions as, you know, for people that have a lot of land, I mean, like we do? What we could do?
We built irrigation that would be essentially what's underground. We just made it out of PVC pipe, put sprinkler heads on it, and you hook it up to the water hose and turn it on, and it sprays.
On top of the ground?
Yeah, just used a T to make the legs, and then those. And that's what we did. The caps on the end of.
Put a timer on it. Good to go.
So basically you're saying build a water sprinkler on top of the ground? What about the mowing?
You could make it like 6 foot long, and then hang it on the fence when you're not using it or whatever, and then just take it down. It's like a giant water sprinkler, but you only keep it like this far off the ground so that it's not spraying water everywhere.
Well, yeah, we use a long tractor, you know. But
It's not, but they're movable.
So you go out there.
It's not heavy. It's just like a piece of PVC pipe that you would move off the ground, and you can mow and lay it back down whenever you're ready.
You mean you just keep moving it? But if it's at 6 o'clock, so I guess you would only have between 6 and 9 a.m. So we'd be moving it before we go to sleep. Back and forth.
Okay.
If I may, you can also reach out to the county extension office at the fairgrounds. They will help you with this. They have lots of experience. My husband's actually the agriculture agent there, and he knows about water conservation and what y'all might be able to do. He also has a lot of experience moving sprinklers, but he doesn't like doing it, so I'll help you avoid that.
Half of our property is pure caliche. I mean, there's no way. We had a telephone company. I mean, Lee County Electric go out there and drill some holes for some trees, and they ended up, it's real weird, half of the whole 6 lots is, you go down a foot and you hit caliche. I mean, you can't even go down a foot. I mean, so they went in there with their big drill bit and their auger, were just huge. And they ended up polishing the caliche, making it glassy. And there's nothing you can plant there. So, I mean, like you said, probably have to figure out something that'll roll on top of the grass, I guess. I don't know. But thank you, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any further public comment? Seeing none? All right, Ms. Shannon?
Commissioner Rodriguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Perry,
Yes.
Mayor Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner White.
Yes.
Okay. Floor is open for a motion on the adoption of ordinance 616.
I'd like to make a motion for adoption of ordinance 616, annexation of Cone Addition as industrial zone.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion from the commission? Any staff comment? Any public comment? Hearing none, Ms. Shannon?
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Mayor Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Perry,
Yes.
Commissioner White,
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez.
Yes.
Okay. All right, next action item for.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Joe. Entertain a motion for approval, or for, I guess we should untable, or the,
I'd like to make a motion to untable.
I don't, that's not a good word, but anyway.
I move to untable resolution 2026-004.
Second.
All right.
I don't know what to say.
Well, I don't have, that's no clue. All right. Can we talk about it?
No, just like.
Oh, can we just talk about it? All right. We tabled this
Back on the burner.
back in January, and we are now bringing it up to, I guess, for approval or rejection. I think we talked, the floor is open for any further discussion. Would anyone like to open from the commission? If not, any staff comment?
Okay, so I
Oh,
need to.
commission, okay.
Need to amend my motion to
No?
approve it with the suggested name from the committee, and then we,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
So I like to make a motion to approve Hamilton Roofing for the Lovington Roof RFP on resolution 2026-004.
All right. We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Hearing none. We will dismiss that motion. Is there another motion on, or the floor will entertain another motion on the resolution, or this resolution?
Mr. Mayor, may I say something to staff?
Absolutely.
So I would caution the board that, that you just can't, in the procurement code, once you go out for bid, you have to go forward with the process or have a valid reason why you're gonna decline the process. Why you're gonna table it, bring it back and not go out to the process. In the administrative code, there's reasons why you can reject the whole group of bids. They list, excuse me. they list 7 different items. One of them is that all the bids and responses were non-responsive to what you're trying to do. That's one of them. The next one is that the services, construction are no longer needed or required. The third is there was inadequate specifications regarding the bid. The fourth is that prices exceed the availability of funds. And the next one is that the bids or the responses are unreasonable in the prices given. And the next one listed is that there's reason to believe that all bids or proposals may not have been independently arrived in an open competition. There was some collusion going on or something. So unless you meet one of those criteria, you need to move forward with the bid. You can't just cancel it. You have to decide, you have to award the bid, unless it falls under one of these particular criteria.
Okay.
The decision that should have been done is if you were not going to go out, if you wanted to get the process going and use a different method, that should have been done before you went out for bid. But once you go out for bid, unless you have a particular reason that's listed here under the administrative code, you can't go forward, or you have to go forward with the bid.
Okay, well, we do fall under one of those particular items.
Okay. Well, that's.
There was an inadequate specification of part of that bid.
That's for the board to decide and for council to interject.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. I don't have personal information about it, but I think it was relayed to the city that part of the bid specs that we had in the original bid were not gonna be sufficient as far as putting the roof together and making sure that it's gonna be something that we get a value for as far as it being able to fix the problem that we have. And so I think that's something for city council to discuss, what that information was, how you feel about, is it something that's a minor inadequacy in the bid specs, or is it something that's major that could let you go back and take a look and say we fall under one of those exceptions? So I think it's important to discuss it in a public meeting.
All right, Commissioner White?
So, and I want to disagree with that because they did have testing done. They wanted to make sure we had a 20-year warranty on that roof. So they had extensive testing done to supplement the RFP, and it's part of the RFP if you read that. And it's also right here. Final testing was conducted to enable roofing supplier to develop a warranted roof system for the library. Roof features gypsum. Want to ensure the library's roof and improvements meet expectations. And I'm sure she can explain more on how they did their process or.
So we went out for public bid on the library roof because we had gone out for the process last year. And we determined that Mayor Roberts is correct, we did not have a sufficient enough scope for the roofers to be able to evaluate them apples to apples. So we actually had engineering done on the roofing, which was included in the RFP package, and the testing to make sure that we had a 20-year warranty allowed for the re-roof of the library. We didn't want to just, it was a Gyp Creek roof, which is a concrete roof, and we had to do a lot of testing to ensure that the adhesive that they use this time around will actually be warranted for the 20 years. We also went out, so at that time, the commission disapproved all bids because of that reason, and directed the city to game plans and come back out with a bid packet, which we added the plans into the packet. We also did it as a RFP to allow the evaluations done, and last time the evaluation, Mayor Roberts, she didn't think it was complete enough. So I sent over to Mr. Miranda the evaluation that the evaluation committee did with the matrix of how we picked. And then the third thing for the open bidding, open procurement, is that there are many roofers in the area that aren't a member of the state purchasing agreement, and there's many local contractors that are also, and we wanted to give them a fair chance to have a bid packet. So that's usually why we go out for RFP, to allow our local businesses a chance to bid on our projects. So, thank you.
Okay. Well, I have been in contact with two of the bidders on this, and they both stated that the amount of insulation requirement was not met and would not be allowed by the state. So, having a little bit of experience in this, I am not convinced that that the specifications were adequate enough, and but is it enough to disqualify it? I don't know what that takes. We officially. So, but if there is a discrepancy, and I do not believe, and we actually met with a CES contractor that bid on the project, and he stated, the principal in that stated in that meeting, they would not be able to put that roof, the specifications of the bid, it would not pass inspection. So, Counselor, I guess my question to you is, if you cannot complete the job as specified, because it will not meet code requirements, do you, remember I always have to use the right wording here, is that enough to ask for a reject or move forward?
Well, I think what we need to take a look at is the information that we have available in front of us. So if that person, if they had issued maybe a written opinion on that, that may change. I don't know the specs well enough to say whether it would pass or not.
Right.
So I think what we need to do is for each one of the commissioners to discuss it and say, is this, based on the information we have available to us, is this something that is going to be a major change in the bid specs or minor change in the bid specs with what we know tonight? So it's okay that everybody can have different opinions. That's why we're here. And so, but it's important to get that out and discuss so that we get an idea from everyone what their position is on this. If the case is it wouldn't pass, how much weight do we put on that particular opinion? And then if that was the case, depending on how you weigh that opinion, is that something that's gonna be major or not? As far as the bid specs and the quality of the roof that we get, so we certainly wanna make sure, because I know we've had some problems and issues with the roof. And it's all something we always deal with, and it's something we always take a look at as far as where are we gonna be 5 years down the road at the next hailstorm, unfortunately. But that's something for everyone to discuss. I can't say, not having spoken to that person or had any personal communication, I can't say for sure how I would weigh it, but that's something for everybody to discuss and say, in the position we are right now, do we, you know, is that something that carries a lot of weight for each one of you, or some of you, none of you? But this is the opportunity to discuss it and talk about it, because I think that's an important next step, so.
In the position that we're in, we're getting close to the timeframe.
Mhm.
So, I mean, the roof is only getting worse over there.
Should we address those concerns of those two roofers with the engineer's report? I mean, call that engineer and say, hey, these guys say that.
Well, I think, I guess, you know, obviously the roof is not in good condition, so that's one of the things we need to take a look at, is if we don't make a decision this evening, what's the impact gonna be? And so if we're able to put it on another meeting, when is that gonna be? What's the date? Are we past a time? Are we into a particular part with the roof where it's gonna have more damage from precip? You know, I don't know what those answers are. I think those are the things you need to take a look at. If the roof is gonna be in the condition that it's causing more damage and we just need to get it fixed, you know, the water's coming in, that may be a consideration to offset, you know, what the opinion is on whether that roof is gonna be good for a particular time. The other thing we may look at is, and I don't have the bid specs, I don't review them before they go out, or the RFP, but there may be something in that RFP that, you know, would require a licensed contractor not to bid on something that wouldn't pass state approval.
That's what I would think they would say, here's the bid for what you want, but in order for me to pass an inspection, I need to add this onto it. And there wasn't that I know of added to
I
it.
have no idea if any of them contacted back or not, because I'm not involved
So
in
they're not
that
gonna
process.
reply.
But that's one of the things I think you guys need to discuss also, is where are we on, you know, what shape's the roof in? Is it need immediate attention? Is it something that can wait? And then you can sort of decide, how do we move forward here? Because ultimately, if you had somebody come in and let's say the inspector give us an opinion on that, then we would know for sure. So we may also be able to go back, generally, when you ask a professional to come up with some bid specs or to undertake a role based on their licensing and profession, they generally have liability insurance. So one of the other ways to fix it may be if we move forward and it doesn't pass inspection, then we go back to the professional that issued the opinion and said, these are the bid specs that you need. Then we go back to that person and say, hey, you made a mistake, you have professional liability insurance, you need to turn this in and fix it. And that could be another option of how we get that issue resolved, maybe sometime in the future.
I have one more question.
Okay.
Okay, because I've taken the procurement class.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't know how many bidders, 10, 14. If we get rid of this bid and say no to everyone, used to be you couldn't use the 10 or 14 people in a new process.
I think if we come back in and say we're gonna reject based on one of the accepted forms of rejection, I think you could go back out and start that process again.
But we have to RFP again.
Yes, because we would be putting new bid specs in there.
City manager, how much, I'm sorry, how much damage was done during this snowstorm? How much more damage was done?
I don't know about recent damage. The majority of the damage was from the two hailstorms, one in 22 and one last
But all
year.
that snow melt didn't make more.
I did not get
Not that they
reports
were
of any
fine.
leaking to the library from Debbie, so I don't know.
They've done some mitigation to it.
Yeah, I did not hear of any problems after that snowstorm. Leslie, the funds expire in June, correct?
I did check that with DFA, and we do have another year for repairs on there.
So we have time to RFP again.
Correct.
Okay.
We do.
So it looks like the question then is gonna be, what's the condition of the roof? Is it something, you know, are we taking on water and we gotta put a plug in it right now? Or do we have some time? And I don't know the answer to that. I don't know what the situation is. But you can also take a look at it and say, well, if it comes back that it's not gonna pass inspection based on the bid specs that come out, then I think we're in a pretty good position to go back. And I understand you had an engineer put the bid specs together?
Yes.
Okay, then we could probably go back to that engineer and say, hey, this doesn't, you know, they're deficient from the standpoint of not, is it gonna protect us from hail, but is it even gonna pass inspection? And so there would be a means to address that issue then. Unfortunately, you know, it's gonna be probably once the roof is installed, that we then have to come back and look at the inspection issue. So, it's not easy. I don't know what to tell you.
I guess something else I want to add, and this may or may not be the place to say it, but the ignorance of the new commission, ignorance is not a bad word.
No.
I feel like we need to be more involved. I know that we have a procurement officer, that she takes charge of all that, but I feel that we either need some training or some kind of meetings so that we can understand what exactly we're dealing with, because I don't know anything about a roof. I know I have to get mine replaced, you know, I've had to get mine replaced,
Yeah.
but that's all I know.
I mean, do you mean as far as how that process works? Or
All of
actual
it.
involvement in, hey, there's a bid going out, do you guys get to review those bids before they go out, or? I don't
We
know.
approved the RFP for advertising.
Right.
And that
For
was the old
advertising,
commission.
and that was
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay, but do you get the bid specs in that RFP for the advertising?
We do, so, I mean, we could
Okay.
get them a week or two ahead of time and
Mhm.
have time to call engineers and people and be like, is this gonna meet
Okay,
state code and blah, blah, blah. I mean,
Right.
we can do that on our own, and we have time for that.
okay. Well, that would certainly be something to take a look at to see what.
And I'm fine with that, I want to get this
And,
going as fast as
And
possible.
we could
COG
invite up to
and
2
municipal.
commissioners to sit on the review committee. You know, we do a lot of RFPs, some of them are more important than others, but
Mhm.
1 or 2 commissioners could sit on the review board and be involved in the screening process.
And take a procurement course. I mean, you can just audit it, sit in, listen to it. The COG and Municipal League have them about every 6 months or so.
Okay.
Well, Commissioner Ramon is correct. If we are, as commissioners, we're faced with deciding when to spend the money. Going into that, to use her word, in ignorance is not a comfortable feeling. So as I understand, Ms. Bolt, we have another year to take advantage of this money for the roof repair.
So, yes, so I confirm that, I went through all the grant agreements just to confirm the dates. Usually on a capital outlay project, they give you 4 years for construction, 2 years for the purchase of equipment. So, for example, we have 3 projects from FY '26 that are not cleared yet. Once they get cleared, we'll have the youth center, which will have 4 years to go through the planning and construction phase of whatever we want to do with the youth center. And the equipment has to be purchased, grant closed out within 2 years. So we're okay, we're in okay shape on this library roof. We can go back out. We can change it, or we can amend, go with the structural engineer that did the plans and ask him to review the plans and check the, to make sure that it will be, I mean, it has to be permanent. It has to pass inspection. That's just a given. And that's to Ms. Ramon's thing is public procurement is very difficult. If it was my house, I'd have a roof 2 years ago. But public procurement is a tricky situation because we're dealing with taxpayer money, so we have to be very transparent with everything. There are some ways that we have done a buying group, a cooperative agreement, which a lot of times you'll hear the term CES, which is, came from the school districts. They did that to get their procurement process in place, and then the municipalities were allowed to do it. There's also called a state purchasing agreement, which the state does it for you, and since we're an arm of the state, we're allowed to use those purchasing agreements. So sometimes, for example, I have used CES, and it's a paid service. We pay for that. We pay a percentage of each project to CES, and grant funds will not pay for CES. They do not pay for it, so I have to take the CES fees out of any kind of reimbursement I get from them. But we have used them because they have a process that sometimes works in our favor. For example, the ball fields. We're in Mr. Perez is in a ball field improvement project. Well, over $60,000. You have certain, it's the law that you either do public procurement or you do a cooperative agreement. That's it. You don't have a choice of just picking someone. So to get that field done, we went through CES. Now, it cost us a little bit more. It wasn't public procurement and we didn't get the best price, but we couldn't just pick for a project over 60,000 that we're just gonna use whoever we want. We have to go through the state law on this. So it's hard, and the more that you guys learn about it, the easier it is for me. So, they are having a conference in Ruidoso, March 25th, 26th, and 27th. So if anyone's interested, I can send that information. Also, the bid opening on public procurement it's a public opening. So anyone can open and listen to who bid and the price that they gave. We had probably about 7 attendees for that. I listed on our website, I give them about 30 days. So that's just kind of a brief overview, but we're okay on the money for the library. Now, that's the only grant money we have is the library roof. None of the others have grant money behind it.
I would also add, for the new board members, Ms. Bolt, she referred to CES, it's a Cooperative Educational Services. The school districts, rather than trying to bid it all themselves, got together, or CES was created for the purpose of doing the bidding. And so what it does is it allows the school districts to not, if they don't have, especially smaller districts, they don't have the staff or the personnel to go through all these elaborate procedures, they can just turn to them and say, because they do that part of it. Not every single time do you get your best deal through CES, because it's more of a general type of thing, so you need to be cautious with that also too. It's not that it's bad, it's just what it is, and so you have to evaluate. If you're large enough that you have your own procurement in-house, and you take the time and you rely on professionals, engineers, whoever professionals to give advice, and as Counselor said, the engineer, he's the one responsible, said this is gonna be, he knows what needs to be done. And so the bid is based on that, and Ms. Bolt used that information to create the bid and go forward with it, so. But to reject it, you have to have a valid reason, and that I discussed earlier. You can reject them, but you have to reject everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, with state permitting, all the state requires is an engineer to give you a plan on what that roof needs.
That's not entirely true.
Well, they'll review it, but that's
Right.
an engineered plan that has to be
Yeah,
approved by the state.
And then,
You can't have a commercial
Reroof without an
project
engineer.
without a stamp set of plans.
That's what I'm meaning to get at. You have to have that engineered plan
We agree
to
with
get
that.
a permit.
We'd agree with that.
And then say we did approve tonight and award this to someone, there's a process after that where they can come back for so long, isn't there?
Yes, so I have some of the bid sheets. I don't know if, and I know the commissioner's name on the bid at the opening, but here's the bids. This is public record. This is a public, I don't have that many.
No, we share.
Okay, here's another one, okay. The library was a really, that roof was in really bad shape. And it had a lot, that was an interesting project because it had things that were going up under Main Street, wires and stuff, so we had to call to try to find out if it was LECO, if it was them to remove and stuff like that. So there was all kinds of different things with that. So we had kind of a re-roof pre-phase before we even went out for the bidding on this. So then they have, if you don't, even if we approve or you deny all the bids, there's a 15-day period that they can dispute it, and then that will go to Patrick with the dispute, and then after that, we can go from there.
It seems like that the engineer drew up the specs for this roof, and then the professional roofers did a bid on the roof. And if it was an inferior spec, you'd think they would have said something.
That's what I would think.
I would think
I
so.
would think they would bid on something they can't.
They did
Well,
have a lot of questions.
they can agree to absorb the cost, but they also know that they have to meet what the state's gonna require. Whether it's in the spec correctly or not.
Right.
Well, I think where we are, we had a motion, and I don't think we had a second.
Correct.
Okay, so we're sort of back to square one. So I think if we'd like to discuss it a little bit more, I think certainly have the opportunity to do that. I think what is really weighing on this is we don't have a deadline as far as use of the money that's intending, but there is an issue with if the roof is not in good condition. I don't know if we have somebody that could answer what happened. Generally, the rainy season, if you could call it, doesn't come for a couple of months. So we've got maybe some opportunity to go back, but there's, still no guarantee. But we also do have maybe an insurance policy if, and hopefully we can get that issue addressed before they actually do the construction and create something on that roof that is not gonna be passable, maybe. So if you do decide to award it, I think it's a good idea to have the building inspector take a look at those bid specs and get an answer now, and as opposed to once it's already up or during that process.
Is the only claim we have that our old insurance, or have we made any with the municipal?
I've spoken to Matthias from an MSIF, and they're not gonna give us any money towards it.
So we just have our travelers claim
And
to
they're
our
not gonna
profit.
pay us either. So it's all from the capital outlay grant that's gonna pay for this roof. Self-insurers might pay some ancillary things like, ceiling tile replacement or things like that, but not the big
They're not
costs.
touching the,
Yeah.
okay. Cosmetic, inside,
Yeah.
okay.
Is this item still on the table?
Yes.
It is.
I wouldn't be prepared to vote one way or the other at this point.
Oh, would you like me to make a motion to bring it back in a month or so when we have more information?
Well, let's be a little more specific and bring it back. Are we gonna have somebody look at it?
That's what
are
I'm
we gonna
saying,
do?
should we address the concerns of those roofers with the engineer and get some more information? That's what I'm saying, just come back with more information in a month or so, another meeting, that'll be what, 3 weeks after this meeting?
We have
We have a year.
Or it's February,
And
that would be 2 weeks.
To our knowledge, we're not in an emergency condition, is that correct? Can anybody here attest to what the condition of the roof is?
No.
Okay. Can they say, I mean, we've already addressed that there has been no report of damage from the way it is currently. So from that, I'm assuming we're not in an emergency situation.
Mr. Miranda, when we had our seniors, or our department head meeting, did she not say it did leak again during the last storm we had? Were you in that meeting? Cause a couple of them talked about, some leakage, and I know the library, the DMV, and there was like 3 or 4 different people who all said that they had leakage in their building.
Those, I remember the Denton building and MPD, but it's always City Hall, Troy House, MPD, Denton.
I just thought she had,
She might have, I was in and out of that.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Can we not reach out to the self-insured fund and ask them to look at the specs of the roof and see if they can get a determination of whether it will meet their recommendations?
Well, I know Matthias has been on that roof.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he ever saw our RFP. So,
okay.
And I don't know if he'd be qualified to pass judgment on that.
Okay, so can we,
Maybe they can recommend somebody that can look at it and then get a qualified opinion as to whether it will meet.
I can do
and
that.
take the concerns of the roofers to the engineer that we've already paid,
Right?
to have him weigh on that also?
The engineer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So did the engineer already make up a plan with specs or just?
Yeah, there's a really nice.
So that could be submitted to CID for a plan review, and then you would know
Right.
if CID would accept that
So do
plan
that
or not.
Before the
Okay.
next, when we bring it back, submit to CID.
Because CID does do plan reviews.
Okay.
And you wanna wait till the second meeting in March or the first?
Well, I would ask the procurement officer, how much time do you need?
Well,
No, if it lands on her, then she needs to give us a time frame, and then we can revisit it.
I don't know the time frame that CID would need to review the plans.
Plan reviews are usually 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how complex the plan set is.
So I suggest we can try for March 9th, and then we may have to table it if we do not have the review. I can get the questions, to the engineer.
The engineer would be the one to submit it to CID.
Okay.
How
Yes.
about we just do the second meeting in March, just to make sure?
March 23rd.
Mhm. So what's the word I use there, not table, but?
Engineers are-
We will revisit it. I mean,
Okay, yeah,
Postpone.
I'd like to make a motion to postpone resolution 2026-004 until March 23rd meeting.
Second.
For more information.
I'll second.
okay, we have a motion and a second, further discussion? Okay. Ms. Shannon?
We had the untabling
Got it.
and then the amendment to approve of Hamilton with no second.
We had no second. I was gonna say, we didn't do that one.
Wait a minute,
You're good. You said no second.
yes, no second. And then you making a new motion to postpone this resolution to March 23rd.
With the
With
second.
conditions of CID approval of the specs.
Review, if they, right.
CID review and
And if you
an engineer information.
So it'll just be an action item.
Yes.
Or
Yeah, we don't need to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll have to bring it back in. With the second from Commissioner.
But we are gonna need, I mean, we're gonna need, before that date, we need a report that says this has been reviewed and whatever, and then at that point, we may have to look, that there
Give
will
us
be
like
a
week or so to
decision
read it ourselves.
whether we're going to if it was substantial, needing substantial revision, then we may have to go out and rebid. But not the day of the meeting,
Yeah.
or it will get tabled again.
Right. The commission will be involved every
Okay.
step of the way.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion to postpone. We have a second? All we gotta do is vote, right? Okay, I ask, is there any further discussion? Any staff, comment? Public comment? Hearing none, Shannon?
Mayor Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner White,
Yes.
Commissioner Romero,
Yes.
Commissioner Perry,
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez.
Yes.
All right, Laura, I'll entertain a motion on the bills.
I'd like to make a motion to approve accounts payable.
Second.
Have a motion second for approval of accounts payable. Any further discussion? Anyone have any questions? Hearing none, Ms. Shannon?
Commissioner White,
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Perry,
Yes.
Mayor Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Romero.
Yes.
With that, the items of the agenda are exhausted. We are adjourned.
Ms. Bolt, do you need this back? Ms. Bolt, do you need this?